Hi friends, welcome to Yoga with Sarah Trapani, and I appreciate you joining me here. We're taking a well-rounded, all levels yoga flow, vinyasa flow practice today. So grab your mat and let's get going. If you're still with me at the end and you like this practice, please hit that subscribe button and the super thanks button and leave a tip. So it can be helpful to have 2 yoga blocks available in case you need them during your practice, but if you don't have them handy, don't worry, we can practice without them. If you have them, let's put them toward the front corners of the mat so that they're accessible if you need them later. So let's start our practice today in a comfortable upright seated position. I'm sitting on a block. If you had a cushion or something to sit on, you could sit on that to help lift your lower back a little bit, but totally up to you today. So when you're ready, close your eyes and take a moment to arrive. And we're aligning the nose right over the belly button. And we'll take a couple of slow, gentle shoulder rolls in either direction to start to release and unwind any gripping or clenching that you might be carrying in your shoulders today. Sometimes it feels good to let a nice exhale out your mouth. You can inhale through your nose, exhale, let it out. It's very calming on the nerves. And when you bring those shoulder blades down and together on the back, lift up through the crown of the head. And let's bring the hands and rest the warmth of your hands on your belly. Anywhere on the belly that feels good today. Just taking a moment to tune into your breath, tune into your natural breathing, and arrive in this moment. And you can drop your chin toward your chest, get a little stretch through the back of your neck. Set your intention for practice today. What do you want to cultivate in this time on your mat? Let that intention help guide your effort today. Then lifting the crown of the head as you inhale, let's reach the arms up toward the sky. Stretch up through the fingertips. Look up between the hands. And then exhale, bring the hands down through heart center, pressing the palms together pretty firmly. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands come down through the central channel. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bring your hands down through heart center. And then slowly come forward into a tabletop position. You can remove the block if you had it. Place it toward the front corner of your mat. So again, if you don't have blocks, that's fine. We're just going to have them available in case we need them. We're going to fan the fingers wide and look down. See that your first fingers are parallel. On your inhale, let your belly hang. Toes are tucked. Look up. On your exhale, we're going to root through the tops of the feet and round the spine, scooping the tail, chin to chest. Move through a few of those cat and cows in your own pace. Inhale, toes tuck, look up. Exhale, round, pressing through the tops of the feet and the hands. Let the breath guide the movement. On the inhale, fan the sitting bones toward the sky, and then on the exhale, scoop the tail, dome the upper back. We'll take 1 more inhale, soft elbows. And then when you exhale, send your hips up and we'll find downward facing dog. In downward dog, start with your knees a little bit bent and open your knees just slightly so they don't knock in. And then lift those sitting bones up so we find some nice length all the way up the sides of the torso from the pinkies to the hip creases. And then when you have that nice length and openness through the lower back toward the sky, you may be able to drop the heels down toward the floor. Downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your heels and wave into plank pose. Hold nice and strong, wake up your core. And then we're gonna lower down, keeping a nice line from back of head to tail. Hug your elbows toward your ribs, come all the way down onto your belly. Take your feet flat. Inhale, spread the chest, take a baby cobra. Little back bend. And then lower your heart. Tuck your toes, press your hips towards your heels first, then sweep the hips back up to downward dog. So we're warming up a little bit. Coming back to a connection to your breath. We'll do that same flow 1 more time on the inhale, wave forward through the crown. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, feet are flat, cobra, maybe a little more of a back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing in downward dog. You can pedal out your feet, wake up your calf muscles, wake up the backs of the legs. Then come forward into plank, bring your knees down on your exhale. Come into active child's pose, toes are tucked. Tented fingers, lift your belly, slide your right foot through right between the hands, and then take your hands to your right thigh. Or if it feels available, stretch your arms right up into crescent lunge, finding that upper back bend through the rib cage. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, release your hands to the floor or blocks. Lift your left thigh, spin that outer left heel down. If you have a block, you can use the block on the outside edge of your right heel. And then we're going to come into this variation of extended side angle, where we turn the right rib toward the left rib and extend your left fingertips up. And we want to wrap that right knee open toward that right arm. And breathe and contain your ribs in. Root through the outer left foot. Nice. Now we're going to press strongly and come right into reverse warrior. Left hand to left thigh, right arm sweeps up and over. Inhale through your right side rib. Exhale, slowly cartwheel. And release your hands to frame your front foot. Swing the left heel over the toes. If you had the block, place it aside. Plant your palms and step back to downward dog. Lifting your lower back high. Letting your head hang. Drift your way into plank. Bring your knees down. When you exhale, gather the belly and come into child's pose, toes tucked. Tented fingers, slide your left foot through right between the hands. And then you can come on up. Hands can come to that left thigh or reach your arms right up. Squeezing the biceps in toward the ears and finding that upper back bend. Lift the base of the skull. Your inner thighs are gliding apart. Inhale, lift your gaze up. Exhale, hands frame the front foot on the floor or your blocks. Lift your right thigh, spin that right heel down. So that left knee is going to be bent at a 90-degree angle and that left sitting bone's tucking under the pelvis. You could use a block at the middle setting underneath your left hand or whatever setting you want. And then you can gently turn left rib toward right rib. If your hand comes all the way to the floor, that's also fine. What we're going to do is take this variation where we get a sense of the collarbones being very broad. So you wrap the left rib toward the right rib and you reach the right fingertips up. And you really carve the outside edge of that right foot into the earth. The toes on both feet are soft and spread. And then on your inhale, come right up into reverse warrior. You keep your legs in that same position, stretching the left arm up and over. Gazing up at the sky. Inhale. Exhale, slow cartwheel. Release your hands to frame that front foot. We're going to swing the right heel over the toes. Remove that left block away. Plant your palms. Step back to plank. You can go right back to downward dog or exhale down through chaturanga. Hug your elbows in. Feet are flat for cobra pose on the inhale or upward dog where you lift your knees with the power of your core and legs. And then exhale, tuck the toes, meet in downward dog. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it out. Raise your heels high, come onto your very tiptoes. Keep lifting your sitting bones as you tiptoe forward right between your thumbs. When you get between your thumbs, inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana, let your head go. Press through your feet, inhale, reach the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands through heart center. Take your hands to your hips, shift into your right foot and lift your left foot off the ground. Now we're going to start to extend your left heel straight back, coming into warrior 3 with hands on hips. If you have blocks, go ahead and take your hands down onto the blocks or the floor. If you don't have blocks, don't worry about it. Try to take your hands to the floor if you can. It doesn't matter how high you lift that left leg. We're going to keep that left hip point rolling down and the shoulders soft. Now bend your right knee. Then straighten the right leg. Bend your right knee, soft elbows, straighten that right leg. And we're going to bend and straighten and bend and straighten. And then the right hand is on the floor or the block. We're going to start to open right rib toward left rib. Left hand can come onto your hip, or you can extend your left fingertips up into a half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Draw your lower ribs in. If it's too much, keep your left hand on your hip. One more inhale. Now when you exhale, bend your right knee, and we're going to step that left foot back and find a triangle pose position with your legs. So it's going to be heel to heel alignment with the left toes turning forward just slightly. The right toes are pointing straight toward the front of your mat, and that right leg is all the way straight without locking or hyperextending the knee. Right hand is either on a block or your ankle or the floor. Then turn right rib to left rib, let the left fingertips drift up, and find that triangle pose. Not a lot of pressure in your right hand. Take an inhale, looking up at the hand in the air. Exhale, bend your right knee. We're going to release the block aside if you were using it. Plant your palms, step right back to downward dog. Now, if you're itching to go through a plank pose and a chaturanga and a back bend, you could insert that here. Otherwise, just stay in downward dog. Maybe let a little exhale out your mouth. So satisfying. At the end of your exhale, lift your heels high onto tiptoes. Tiptoe right between your thumbs. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. So we're gonna do that whole half moon triangle sequence on the other side. You ready? Let's go. Hands on hips to start. Now root through your left foot, start to lift your right foot. You can lift that right knee any amount, keeping a nice tall torso. Then we start to lean forward and press that right heel straight back toward a warrior three with hands on hips. So you tip your body forward, and you can work here. And then we're gonna bring our hands down either to the floor or your blocks. If you have your blocks, you can use blocks under your hands. And then we're really pressing that right heel straight back for a moment. Nice, strong, straight right leg. Then we're gonna bend that left knee and then straighten that left leg. Bend your left knee, then press it straight. You can be looking at your left foot and just do that a couple times. Really great to promote nice, strong hip and bone density in that hip and that left thigh. Next time you press that left leg straight, take your left hand a little further of the shoulder and start to open toward Ardha Chandrasana. So you can take your right hand onto your hip, or you can extend your right fingertips straight up. A little wobbling is fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can try to look at the hand in the air, but that can be really challenging. Easier to gaze down toward a block or your hand. And from here, we're gonna soften that left knee and step back to your triangle pose legs. So both legs in triangle pose are straight. Remember, those right toes are turned forward toward the front of the mat a bit, and you tuck that left sitting bone under the pelvis, and then turn the torso, left rib toward right rib, and reach the right fingertips up and look at the hand in the air. And we find our triangle pose, soft toes, arches of the feet are lifting. One more inhale. Exhale, start to bend your left knee. Swing the right heel over the toes. You can move your blocks aside if you're using them, and we're gonna step to plank. Let's lower all the way down on the belly and meet there. Take your feet flat, and let's reach the arms around. Option 1, locust pose, straight arms and legs. Option 2, reach around for the tops of the feet, and then kick the feet into the hands into the feet. And you find that bow pose, Dhanurasana, nice front body stretch. Big full inhale, looking forward or up. Exhale, gently release, and then we're gonna stack one palm on top of the other. Rest your forehead in that crocodile pose. Resting in that crocodile pose, separate your feet a little more, and then point your toes toward the back of your head and take a few nice windshield wipers side to side. Massaging out your quadriceps and the tops of the thighs and the tops of the hips. And then glide your legs back. We're gonna lightly tuck the toes, aligning your heels with your hips. And then come up to bring your palms under your elbows. Press up into tabletop. Walk your knees forward. Cross your ankles underneath. We're gonna sit back behind the heels. Find your upright cross-legged Sukhasana. Let's cross our non-habitual ankle on top. Taking a moment to sit really tall. Reach the shoulder blades down your back as you lift the crown of the head. And we're gonna turn to the right gently. Right fingertips behind you. Let's keep our left hand on the left knee and turn in that nice open torso way. to the right. You can even very gently with your left hand, you can press your left inner thigh away from your right sitting bone. And we'll inhale, and we'll exhale. We're going to slowly turn the other way. Keep your right hand on the inner right thigh, a little closer toward the knee, and then turn, nice and open turn through the belly as you look left. Good. When you exhale, you pull the belly in toward the spine. And coming on back to center, we're going to lean forward for a moment with flexed feet. And then drop the tail, cross your other ankle on top, and scoot yourself toward the front of your mat. And then we're going to slowly come down, keeping your ankles crossed. Coming down onto your back in this cross-legged, reclined Sukhasana, letting the knees fall open for a moment, resting your hands on your hip points, letting the back of the head rest, and then start to squeeze the knees in and hug the knees in. Give yourself a squeeze. We're going to curl into a little ball, knees to chin, chin to knees. Then let the head fall back and come into a full happy baby. Take your 2 peace fingers around those big toes, and we're in happy baby with heels over your knees. Or you can press the legs straight and work with opening into an Upavista shape, half of a V, or a full V rather. And you can rock. Good. And then we're going to release. Feet on the floor. Interlace your hands behind your head and scoop up. Scoop your elbows toward your toes. Press your feet into the ground. Exhale all the way out. And then release down. We're going to find a final Shavasana. Feel free to windshield wiper your knees a couple times. And make your way down in your own time to rest on your back. So we're going to find that place to let the floor support your back body and unwind all your joints into the support of the present moment. And there's nowhere to go, nothing to do, only to allow everything to be as it is. Let the corners of the eyes and the corners of the mouth soften slightly upward, and let the area between the eyebrows be really soft. And with every inhale, light and space flows through all the cells and through all the joints. And on the exhale, any stuck energy, anything at all that's holding you back, you release it away with every exhale. Making space for what you need and letting go of everything you don't, just for right now. And tune into that innately peaceful nature within. So we're going to come into a gratitude practice, thinking of anything and all you have to be grateful for. Today, we're going to wiggle the toes and fingers, and then go ahead and reach your arms overhead and take a big resetting stretch. Big full inhale, reset. Exhale, hug your knees in. Compassionately, find compassion for wherever you're at today and this whole self, all of the parts of yourself. And slowly, as you're ready, roll to either side, and let's meet up together in an upright seat. Arriving again in a tall upright seat, glide your shoulder blades down the back, and then take your hands together at heart center, bringing the thumbs to the center of the chest, and closing your eyes for a moment, thanking yourself for showing up, remembering your intention for practice. And I wish you joy, peace, health, strength, courage, and trust on the journey. Namaste. Thanks for joining me again. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you if you stuck with it the whole way and you're still here with me. Please subscribe, drop me a comment, hit that super thanks button to support my channel. All of these things bring me joy and are so much appreciated. I look forward to continuously practicing together. Keep it up, keep going, and I hope you'll share how you feel after this practice. Okay, take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.